Welcome along once again to the Thursday Night Delight. It is, of course, the Third and Long podcast back with you one more time. I am, of course, your incomparable Welsh Wizard host, Shane Harris. My words are everywhere. That's what happens when I have Red Bull before I come on the show. And as you can see, I am with the OGs this evening. Oliver Butler Henderson, my beautiful little cherub baby Hope. Conspicuous by his absence, Mr. P should be along shortly. Sure, he's had a heavy day in work, his words. He should be in fairly shortly. So as I said, come and join us. We will have tonight a guaranteed NFL Mastermind champion on the show, along with all the other news and gossip from around the league. As I said, thank you for coming along. I'm going to start with OBH. How's your week been, my old buddy?
Well, I'm going to let you put your teeth back in. It's yeah, man, it's good. Cheers, dude. It's new systems going into work, and yeah, all fun and games, mate. All fun and games.
What's going on? What's going on, baby? How's my little cherub doing?
Yeah, we've got some news to talk about, haven't we? Some news that we've all been waiting for.
Wow.
Oh, can I say it? Can I tell him?
If you talk about Metallica, I will kick you.
There's a reason. For those of you who can't see, I've got a very formal Metallica t-shirt on tonight because they have announced that they are touring the UK next year and they're going to be in Cardiff in my stadium for the first time in Wales in 30 years. I am absolutely...
I warned him.
Put him back on, man.
I told him if he talked about Metallica, I'd kick him.
Like Shane, is that minus 1 point?
Like I said, I'm in a funny mood.
Minus 1 point, yeah?
I was going to say that would be up there with one of the best days of my life, like it was when I saw the Ravens play for the first time. But it's okay. I'll remember this when he has a joyous moment and act like I don't give a fuck as well.
Can I ask
I think that's a new
have the reins. Go on, take the reins. I'm pissed. Go on, take the reins.
I think 2.5 minutes is a new record for.
No, we've done it within seconds.
Take the reins. I don't give a shit. Go on, carry on.
Serious question: have you actually seen them before?
Yeah, 7 times.
So not 8, 9 times, and you're going to say it's going to be the best day in your life. Okay.
Yeah, you know why? Yeah, do you know why that is? Do you know, because they're in Cardiff. They're in the stadium that I worked in during COVID when I was a hospital porter. So I will always have a sort of a very close-knit bond with that stadium. That place means a lot to me. And the fact that my favourite band are going to be playing there for the first time in Wales in 30 years, yeah. And it's a Saturday. And they're also doing 2 days in London, which I may go along to as well. But as I said, it's Cardiff Day. I've been in tears for most of the morning. Not just about that, but we won't get into the other reason.
Yeah, I had someone in tears for another reason last night.
To the right part of North London?
Why not?
Yeah.
You said last week you couldn't speak about it, but because the result went your way, you can say whatever you want.
I wanted Man U to win. I was supporting Man United. My mum's a Man United fan, so I was supporting United.
So should you be?
He's from that way, isn't he? So he's originally born up that way. He's got family up that way. So
my granddad's a season ticket holder at Old Trafford.
Nice.
Upper Reds.
Which where's he sit?
Behind the away dugout.
Seats are going to move then, yeah?
Can we change the shape of the ball and talk about a different type of football?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is the news in 60.
So, in a flurry of news this week, it started off on Saturday, I believe it was, where the 49ers have made commitments to their future, both extending Brock Purdy and star linebacker Fred Warner. Purdy was dubbed Mr. Relevant in the 2022 draft and has secured himself a massive $265 million deal, while Warner's 3-year deal is worth $63 million, which is making him the highest paid linebacker in the league. Chicago, 2 months ago, they signed veteran Joe Turney from the Chiefs on free agency. This week, they've extended him to a 2-year deal worth $33 million. The Eagles are extending head coach Nick Sirianni after a successful Super Bowl run last year. No major details about it. For the Eagle fans, the behind the scenes, the Bills will be taking this year's Hard Knocks training camp, making their first appearance on the HBO series. The NFC East, which includes the Eagles, the Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders, will take center stage for the in-season Hard Knocks later that year. We talked about it last week, but it is now being confirmed that the NFL will allow players to participate in the 2028 Olympics flag football. One player permitted per NFL team, and widely debated. And in a widely debated conversation, the tush push popular play popularized by the Eagle will remain in the league after a proposal ban failed to gain enough vote from the team owners. And finally, a little bit of side news that broke overnight. The NFL community is mourning the loss of Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay, who passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 65. Irsay was a long-term figure in the league, inheriting the team from his father, becoming the youngest GM in Colts franchise history.
Ollie, I love listening to that because you just create names that don't exist. So you called him you told him Joe Turney, it's Joe Tooney.
He's always done this.
And it's Jim Irsay, not Irsay.
I'm dyslexic. I read things how they look on the thing. So,
But I just love how you just create names. It's great.
I know
Anyway,
it's Joe
Purdy.
Tooney as well, but never mind.
Purdy.
No, let's start with Jim. Let's start with Jim.
Okay.
Because that's the sad somber nose, and I don't want you lot going on and 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 on. It gives parents a chance to come on if needs be. So yeah, he took over from his dad in 1997 after his father passed away. He's obviously the Super Bowl champions under him with Peyton Manning in 07. He established Colts as massive franchise, construction of Lucas Oil Stadium, numerous events brought to the stage as well, including the Combine as well. Yeah, loves music, love philosophy as well. The guy was massive for this team. Advocate for mental health as well. Yeah,
he was also head of the Owners Association, or what? He was head of some association in the NFL for the owners.
Yeah,
and on the financial one too, on the financial board, I believe.
So the Colts organization stating the History Daughters are going to take over, who are currently vice chairs and owners. It's good. It keeps it in the family. It's, I love the teams who keep it in the family, build them safe up. Obviously, the Crafts have got the same kind of thing when Robert steps down, passed away, whichever one comes first. Jonathan will take over, etc. It's a good thing when it's kept in the family, not like sold on like Commanders were.
Do you know what happened to the Lakers in the 90s?
I can't remember. Remind me.
Jerry Buss passed away, and there was basically a family mutiny over who got to keep the Lakers. So sometimes it's not always best kept in the family. I mean,
now it's probably a case of who wants to give them away, from what I've heard.
And well, Jeannie Buss now runs them. And if you've watched Running Point on Netflix, that is loosely based on the Lakers.
Yeah, it's a great loss to the league.
Yeah.
But not only that, but he's the advocate for mental health, and mental health is massive, especially in men. The amount of us men, all three of us on here, and I think all four of us, including parents, have gone through some kind of mental health struggle. And it is dark. It's a dark place. We'll always say, talk to someone, even if it's not, one of your friends, or just there's plenty of people out there that will help you. Don't suffer on your own. Don't deal with things. Try and deal with things on your own because you're better. It's better done in numbers. And if you can't reach out to anyone that our names and our Twitter handles are here. Drop us a DM. We're here to talk if it needs be. Sorry, going off topic then. That's the typical third and long thing we do here. Carry on, baby Hope. Let's go to San Francisco because I know you've been wanting this.
So I'll start with Purdy. So Purdy is 5 years, $265 million, which puts him at an annual average value of $53 million, which is the same as Jared Goff.
Yep. So I've got his breakdown for the next 3 years in front of me.
I think that for the 49ers organization, Purdy is perfect. He is the perfect quarterback in a offense that has been tailored for Brock Purdy.
Yep.
So in San Francisco, I'd rather have Brock Purdy than Jared Goff.
But
in Detroit, I think Jared Goff would probably be better than Brock Purdy because, again, the offense is fit around Jared Goff's skill set.
Yeah, agreed. I know everyone says he's a system quarterback, but Josh Allen's, well, bar probably Lamar to an extent because his team is built to be a run team. Josh Allen, that's no shade, Shane. That's what it is. Josh Allen.
No, I know you are. You are correct.
Mahomes, these top tier ones, they are. Every quarterback is a system style quarterback because you put into the team. The team know your skill strengths. They build this team around you to succeed.
And I think Kyle Shanahan is one of the best quarterback coaches in the league. We'll get on to a coach that later, and I have some things to say about that, but I won't go into that now.
He did say off air he's not holding any punches tonight.
I know, we've already seen he's a feisty little baby hope tonight.
But if you look at some of the people who are paid more than him, we've got Tua.
In the mic, in the.
We've got Trevor Lawrence. We've got Dak Prescott, who's paid $7 million a year more, and there are some people like Josh Allen and the guy in Baltimore who probably deserve more. But I think he's way more deserving than Trevor Lawrence and Tua and Dak Prescott of the money he's been given.
Before the latecomer jumps in, he's getting more than Purdy, more than Mahomes. Sorry, I got that wrong. But this is breakdown. So he's fully guaranteed $181 million for injury. Fully guaranteed that. Signing is $100 million. This year, his base salary is 1.1 with a cash of 41.1 million. Next year, his base salary is 37.75. Pre-game roster bonus, cap hit, and all that as well. So he's getting a base salary of 8.2. Bonus roster per game of 850. Workout bonus, all that one. Then 2027, he's getting an option of £15 million bonus on top of that. Base salary of 11 again. Same pre-game roster of 850 grand. And then he is getting 56.7 million in 28, 72.5 million in 29, and 64.6 million in 2030.
Yeah, you realize why it's so
heavy loaded.
Yeah, but you realize why it's so backloaded, right?
Oh yeah, because you don't have the space.
I think it's because in 3 years, if he's played well, he'll be getting another extension. If he doesn't play well, we'll cut him. This is a 3-year audition for an even bigger contract.
So if you cut him, say at the end of 2027, it's a 30 million cap hit.
Yeah, but I mean we're running with like 80 odd million this year.
Just put another. Mr. Perrins, what do you make on that one, my friend, on Brock?
I mean, I think we as non-49ers and even some 49er fans and the NFL media need to get over themselves when they talk about like Brock Purdy, not being worth it because of like the position that he was drafted in. Even now that when they talk about like Mr. Irrelevant, they almost do it like as a bit of a jab at him. It's not like enduring. They almost like knock him for it. Now, you said about like all the list of quarterbacks that get paid roughly the same or even like more than Brock Purdy. You can legitimately argue that in the 3 years he's been in the league, he has outperformed a lot of those quarterbacks on that list. With the exception of Mahomes and Hurts, I would argue that none of them have done what Brock Purdy has done in that time period in terms of getting to 2 NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl. Yes, and he also led the team twice in that Super Bowl in overtime, and it was the defense that actually cost us the game, not Brock Purdy making a mistake. So again, history could go either way on that. So there's only really legitimately Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes that you could argue should be getting paid more than Brock Purdy. Now, you said about like him getting paid more than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes signed a fat 10-year contract with the Chiefs. He's gone for a sustainable contract over that 10 period instead of getting paid all up front. And he went for like a more of a team-friendly deal to keep that kind of like ticking over. Other quarterbacks in that position, you mentioned Dak. Dak is just going for the bag, and Dak has never shown anything that's even remotely the same as what Brock Purdy has done in a short period of time. Okay, so Dak came in as a replacement for Tony Romo and has been serviceable for the Cowboys. Has he been great? No. Has he underperformed? Yes. Has he choked in big games? Yes. Has he been to an NFC Championship game? No. So again, all these different things when we talk about other quarterbacks, but yet it feels like when we're talking about Brock Purdy is the one that shouldn't be in that list when he's beaten the likes of Baker. He's beaten Trevor Lawrence. Like, he has beaten all these other quarterbacks with the he's beaten Jalen Hurts twice. So again, other than like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar and Josh Allen, he's practically, I think he has beaten the rest of them on that list.
Yeah, he's I mean, I have no issues with Brock Purdy. I didn't care that it was 277 or 260, whatever it was in the pick. We've had a quarterback who had 6 Super Bowl rings, picked at 199. At that time, it was laughed at for a good 3-4 years.
I mean, you had like, if you go back to media at the beginning of the 2000s when the dynasty happened, you had a lot of NFL insider journalists say that Drew Bledsoe should be kept and Tom Brady should go back to being backup. Like, you look like you just have to look. I mean, I know America's game is slightly always sided with the winning team and on the winning side of history, but there's a lot of NFL and Patriots beat writers that were saying the Patriots should keep Drew Bledsoe. It is Drew Bledsoe's team, and Tom Brady was a system quarterback. Now, obviously, Tom Brady went on to become the GOAT, but his history is wonderful. Like, if he wins us a Super Bowl, he's up there with Steve Young. Like, if he wins 4 Super Bowls, he's up there with Joe Montana. Like, history will look fairly on him if he wins a Super Bowl.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, at the end of the day, you said about Mahomes having team-friendly deals. Brady did that all his career in New England.
Yeah.
He went to Tampa to get paid.
I mean, this is not remotely the same, and I won't interrupt you again, but like, he signed that 10-year deal, and his guarantee over the 10 years was it $1 billion or $500 million, like, overall?
$500 million.
Like that.
$500 million, but like, he went for $500 million over 10 years. That is a guaranteed contract in the league for 10 years. All right, that is more than some players will actually even get in their lifetime, but also the contract length. If you compare it roughly to, say, the Michael Jordan versus Scottie Pippen, if you've watched The Last Dance, which is an amazing documentary series, I think have we all seen it between the 4 of us?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
And you talk about like Michael Jordan always bet on himself. That's why his contracts were always like 3 to 4 years. He bet on himself to perform every single year. Scottie Pippen came from a different background where he wanted guaranteed money. He wanted that length in contract. So Scottie Pippen ended up with the Bulls for 10 years because he wanted that guaranteed contract. He got paid some of the lowest on the squad, but he wanted that sustainability, whilst Michael Jordan bet on himself. Now, here's to say, I'm not saying Brock Purdy's Michael Jordan, but he is betting on himself. Like you said, like that 3 years, and then he's going to bet on himself to get an extension. And he's proven already in the league that he can hang. I think he's a lot better than a lot of people think he is. I think he's definitely a top 10 quarterback in the league. I would even argue that he's on his worst day, he's probably top 7. And he's better than some starters. Well, a lot of the starters in the league. And I just think it's a fair contract for everyone involved.
Baby Hope.
It's funny you were talking about the team friendly deal because I'm not sure if anyone else has watched the press conference Brock Purdy had yesterday. But they asked him if he left money on the table, and he gave a very, very non-committal answer saying, well, now we've got this contract done, I just want to focus on football. They also asked him where his first big purchase is going to be, and he said a bass boat for fishing. So I thought that was quite interesting.
I love that. Right, over to your other guy.
Okay, can I talk about this one too first?
Hey, argue between your two Niner boys.
Okay, so Fred Warner, 62 million, I think, for 3 years. And everyone's like, he's the highest paid linebacker in the league because he is the best linebacker in the league, and he is not like any other linebacker in the league because he makes about 10 times of the plays. I mean, I know Shane is in love with Roquan Smith, but he's not actually.
I am in love with Roquan Smith. Yes, I am.
Roquan Smith's probably the most overrated linebacker in the league.
Shut your dirty whole mouth.
Patrick Queen was okay for a bit, but Fred Warner.
Quan brought PQ up, and now he suffered in Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah, stop interrupting me. I'm making a point. Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the NFL he performs in nearly every single game. And I know Perrins said that the defense cost the Super Bowl because they did. And our defense was really, really poor last year. But Fred Warner still had, in my opinion, DPOY numbers last year. And he does every single year. But because he's a linebacker and he doesn't get the sexy stats, he'll never win DPOY. So I think this contract is so earned and is probably, in my opinion, probably should have been more for what he's worth to Robert Saleh in this 49ers defense.
So his 3 years, 63 million. 56 million of that is guaranteed. So it's an average of 21 million a year. His base salary is 17.65. Workout bonus 100 grand on that one. He's got a very, very nice, tidy contract. And will that end his career?
No, I think he's got another one. I think he's got another one in him.
You reckon he's got another contract in? I mean,
just quickly looking at. So I'm going to go 3 Niners players. Everyone's like, oh my God, look at the draft. Everyone needs to be a first-round pick. Fred Warner, 3rd-round pick. George Kittle, 5th-round pick. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. 3 cornerstones of the Niners team.
Can I also say something about the 49ers? This isn't the 49ers what we've seen through people getting contract extensions for the last 4 years.
No,
they normally leave it literally until the final 53. It's been down, and then you see.
Do you not think that's John Lynch looking at what happened with Ayuk last year and learning?
I think it is.
I mean, that's looking at like with Ayuk, Debo, Bosa. That's 3 consecutive years where dawdling on big contracts has been quite detrimental, not just to like the team, but also the player that it's surrounded. Because very much like how the media operates in New York, where it's all, it's all consuming. The Bay Area media is very, very similar. I mean, if you think about like teams on the West Coast, Chargers are kind of irrelevant. The Rams are kind of irrelevant, despite them being, Super Bowl winners a couple of years ago. Like San Francisco is one of, if not the biggest footballing team in the whole California area. So it is a very consuming kind of, thing. And I think getting it done really, really early settles a lot of nerves. Don't forget, they're almost like going for like almost a bit of a reset this offseason because you've got Salah coming back. You've got a new special teams coordinator. I think also having Jedor kind of like rip into like Kyle and Lynch just before the end of the season saying about like how much we waste time and money on things. And I think this is kind of like a mature, I think it might almost be like more business sense instead of being friendly sense in the organization, that this is kind of like, we kind of need to make something of this now instead of just being the almost boys.
Yeah, agreed on that one. What have you got to say about the Niners, Shano?
Nothing positive as usual. No, but I think as much as I hate to say it, they're right. No one expected him to do anything. And he's got two AFC Championship games. He's got the Super Bowl. He was within an eyelash of beating the Chiefs. Sorry, don't interrupt me. I'm making a point.
Yeah, your point was factually incorrect.
I don't care. It's fucking Brock Purdy. Who cares?
I thought he said NFC, but the thick Welsh accent made it sound like he was saying AFC.
Thank you. That'll do. Yeah. Let's use that as an excuse. Yeah. So as I said, yeah, he's definitely proved that he's worth the money, and he'd be the face of the franchise for a long time. But the only thing is now, I've always said you could put, I don't know, Jameis Winston under center for the Niners, and they'd still be successful because they've got that Galacticos thing going on. They've got that Real Madrid thing going on where they've got stars everywhere. Now, a lot of those stars have left in free agency this year. It'd be interesting to see how he thrives with new teammates and lack of old teammates, which he relied on quite heavily. It's gonna be interesting to see. Do you think he'd be one of those players as well that when he gets his bag, he'd be like, "Got my money now. Let's not try as hard."
I don't think that's his attitude, and I'm not just saying that because he plays for us. I mean, you just have to think about like his upbringing. He comes from a really, really good background. He's a farmer boy. He's used to working on the land. I mean, you've heard stories the last couple of years where on the bye week he's gone home and helped his parents, farming. I don't think he's that type of person where it's like, I've got my bag, I don't need to try. I think he is a constantly on the grind kind of lad that just seems like a really, really good person overall. I don't think he's going to be like that. And that just might be generally down to like his upbringing. I see that being a thing. You mentioned about the fact that he doesn't have those stars to rely on him, but isn't that the whole thing about being a veteran, that you learn from those stars? So when those stars kind of like dim, you become that guiding light. And he's been in the league now for 3 years. He's been the captain in the team for 2 years. It's his time. So yes, he's still got CMC. He's still got Ayuk when he's back. He's still got Jawan. He's still got Trent. He's still got like those superstars. He's got the Avengers around him, but he's also in that caliber. Like, that's not overlook the fact that he has performed, and it is his time to take over. And I think that might be. I'm not knocking against you, Shane, but like, I think that might be a very simplistic idea of, it's his time to stand into the light.
In your bag, then, in your bag.
Just to piggyback on your point, Phil, naming all the players, the Niners have lost a lot of talent, but I'd say probably 90 to 95% of that talent that we lost was on defense. The only player that I think we've lost that is very significant in offense is Debo, who was on the decline anyway.
That's what I was going to say. This isn't Debo from 2023. This is Debo in 2025.
I don't think we've lost much of the offensive talent that we've had in the previous years, to be honest.
Right, let's haven't had enough 49er talk. Good. So I couldn't resist. So Joe Tooney signed with the Bears. Tooney. Oh, shut the fuck up. Signed with the Bears.
Is he one of those moves tonight, didn't he?
I did warn you beforehand.
He's now been given. Oh, shut up or I'll boot you.
The funny thing is, if you boot me, I can just come straight back in.
I have special powers. Remember that one. He signed. So last week or this week, sorry, he signed a 2-year extension worth $35 million. So he's going to make $51 million over the next 3 years. He sees out this contract. He would earn the more money than any other guard has ever earned in the league. He's 32, 33, I think, going on this time. He is a proper stalwart. I mean, I'm gonna put my Patriots hat on because he is a former Patriot. We drafted him. He was a bloody good lineman. He is a bloody good lineman. He's strong. He's great in the pass run, in the pass defense, in the run block. Absolutely brilliant. Seals the pocket. He can play it outside. He can play inside. What a top lineman can be and will be. Has anyone got anything to jump on this real quickly?
I don't really have much to say about this. I think it's a good move for Tooney. I think it's a good move for the Bears. As you said, he's a very good lineman. They need to protect Caleb Williams. So I think it's a good move for both Tooney and the Bears.
Definitely. Who wants to start the argument on the tush push?
Not a great connection.
Me.
Shall we let him
I
have
mean,
this
like-
one, boys?
I mean,
Go
my
on then.
interview. Okay. So, there is a rule in the NFL, and the rule states that you cannot push a member of the offense or the defense forward. That is a rule, and it's a 10-yard penalty if that happens. So,
Okay.
in my opinion, the tush push should not be allowed because of that. And then 22 of the 32 teams voted to ban it because it is against the rules. Yet somehow it's still allowed to happen. 22. That is like nearly 2/3. And the bloody Ravens and the bloody Patriots voted for it.
I saw that we did that.
You guys
So
are
how
ruining football.
much do you need for that to pass through? Because like when you said like for and against,
24.
it needs to be
They need-
24 out of the 32.
Yeah, they need 2/3.
So yeah, the teams that voted for it to be kept were obviously the Eagles, the Ravens, Patriots, Lions, Browns, Jags, Dolphins. They really don't like Tua. Saints, Titans, and the Jets. Now, Philadelphia, obvious, they run it. You know, they adamant it's not, and people say it's not a rugby play. It's not exactly the same as a scrum or a ruck. Like it isn't. But interesting that the Ravens got it, and they've got such a quarterback they have in Lamar. Patriots, Lions, really interesting. Jags, Cleveland, they just want to get someone on their side. Jags, Dolphins, I'm really shocked because, like I said, they're going to kill Tua. Saints, well, they've got no quarterback. Titans, they got Will Levis, so they got a big ass quarterback. And the Jets, they've got Fields, who is a wish version of Jalen Hurts. So I'm not surprised that these teams have gone. I'll tell you what. Yes, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see teams. We know Cleveland already, not Cleveland, sorry, Baltimore already do a version of the tush push anyway, but they don't go over because Josh Allen's height. They go over. I think Ollie's dying on the off screen. So yeah, I mean, what do you make of it, Shane? You're being the Welshman, being the rugby man that you are.
Whoa, have a minute now. That's where the similarities end, my friend. You know I hate that peanut chicken nonsense, right, with a passion.
All
This is the only
yeah.
peanut chicken nonsense I'm quite partial to. Like I think it's just a case of people don't like it because they can't stop it, and because they aren't benefiting from it. It's very controversial. It's very divisive at the minute.
Yeah.
There's obviously you've got the injury implications in it, but then you could say that about any play. You know, we've seen people get injured on something quite innocuous, but I just don't think there's an issue with it. Like, if you can score points, score points. That's the name of the game. Score as many points as you can to have more points than the other team. If you can do it, go for it. I got no issue with it.
Exactly that. A lot of these teams try to stop it or try to ban it because they can't stop it. Commanders tried by continually jumping over the bloody thing in the playoff games. It's like you said. There's always a way. I'm gonna cross-reference this to Formula One here. Formula One always have these teams that dominate the sport at a time. McLaren have done it. Williams have done it. Ferrari, Mercedes, and teams always go, well, they've got this kind of thing. That's against the rules. That's against the rules. They found a loophole. They can't do that.
It's usually Christian Horner having a cry about it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's that as well. And
hey, I won't hear you badmouth Mr. Halliwell.
Because they've got an advantage, other teams don't like it because they've not worked out a way, A, how to stop it, or B, how to do their own version of it. And that is the problem. I mean, Jalen Hurts, we've seen him squat 600 kilograms. That's some powerful ass glutes. You know, and he's a strong guy. And they use this. They've got a very, very good O-line in Philadelphia. That's why they use this to their advantage. And it's a great play. I enjoy watching the tush push. I think it's so much better than the quarterback sneak. Because I love watching teams get absolutely bold and you just see a pile of men on the floor. Yeah, I'm glad it's staying. I really am. I think it's a bloody good sport. Parents.
I mean, like my initial thing is I agree. I don't have a problem with it from like a spectator point of view. My only problem is like the teams that voted to keep it, surely because there's only one team that effectively does it on a weekly and a weekly basis as well, you would expect it to be like a 31 to 1 vote. It's bless me in terms of like banning it. So I don't understand why like the 10 other teams didn't vote or voted for to keep it, because like the Dolphins don't use it, the Raiders don't use it, the Ravens can't use it because they have their own run plays. Why are the Patriots voting flight to keep it going? Like it was voted by teams that I went like, well, that makes no sense for like you to vote to keep it in when I mean like you don't even use anything that's remotely similar. That was my initial thing, like going, why is that remained? I mean, do you not think that's weird as well? Like that's like saying every team in the Premier League, our football league, all voted to get rid of FFP, and you can spend whatever you want, and every team other than Man City and Newcastle United vote against it. Like that's what it feels like.
No, I get that. I get it, and I get where you're coming from, but I also see, look at the teams that voted for it. I see a reason why they did. The only one I really don't understand is Miami, because their quarterback is literally one hit away from literally ending his career. And
watching Tua is like watching a bowl of jelly. Like he's one more hit away from it being all over the ground. Like I actually really sorry, but like if like teams had a quarterback, like I'm going to forget about Lamar for a second because the league does on a consistent basis, but like if teams had a quarterback, say, look, baby, hear me out here, if teams had a quarterback like Colin Kaepernick, who was 6'4", jacked, fast and athletic, and like the Raiders had it, the Patriots had one where he could make yards, but he was really, really strong. That makes perfect sense. But like the Raiders have Geno, like they're not going to be pushing anything. So
I think Drake may get a touch push going.
Do you think?
Yeah, but don't
you think that's a Vrabel kind of thing?
Yes, because it's Mike Daniels type of thing. Don't forget. And we've seen teams not do it with the quarterback. They've done it in the wildcat formation with
tight end usually.
Tight end. And the quarterback is the pusher. So there is variations of it. I mean, the teams that said they want to ban it, one of the reasons was it doesn't look like football.
Mm.
Well, it's no different for me personally than a bloody normal quarterback sneak. He's just got two people pushing him instead of trying to do it on his own. He's not trying to make the width of my desk.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a yard. In some cases, they make 3 or 4 yards because it is that strong of a play. I have no issues with the tush push. I think it's a great play, and I think the league are correct in keeping it. Yeah, if they want to review it next year, let them review it next year. It's always going to end up that situation, but I think it's going to be, you're going to see more teams going, right, we are going to work our arse off to make either a way to stop this bloody play or pull our own version of it in. And that's the way forward on this thing. While we're in Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni, I know you got something to say about this, baby.
Okay. If I was the GM of any team, I would not want Nick Sirianni as my head coach. And here's why. He doesn't run the offense. He doesn't run the defense. And if rumors are correct, he doesn't run the team. I think he's a leader of men, which is great. But Dan Campbell's also a leader of men, but he also knows how to coach a team. The Philadelphia Eagles team was so good last year. They didn't need a head coach. They could have had an offense coordinator, defense coordinator, and won the Super Bowl. They were head and shoulders above everyone else. So I don't think Nick Sirianni is that good a coach. I think Nick Sirianni has just landed himself in a great situation.
I'm going to completely and utterly quash what you said there. Being a leader of men, being that focal point in the locker room, that one that gels everything together, is as important as being a great coach.
I wasn't disagreeing
Players
with that.
will respect him and know for the fact that he will take a knife for them. He's not one of these players are going, or one of these managers are going, yeah, he's rubbish, he had a bad game. He will go, how would you have done it? Would you have done any better? No, shut up. We saw what he did in Cleveland when they lost to Cleveland. He went 2-2. He was there arguing with the team, arguing with them because they were having to go to the team. He was protecting his players. For me, I would die for a guy who did that as a player. I had a couple of coaches in my time who would happily throw you under the bus. I had an old former manager who actually said, "Oh my God, he's a nightmare. He could play so much better than that." Blah blah blah. And I was pissed about that, and I wanted out. But I had also, if you have a coach who goes back to you, you will run through a wall. But we've said this so many times with Dan Campbell. If you've got a leader of men as your head coach, you will do anything for him. And that's what Philadelphia is now. They have a guy who they know will do anything to protect you and make sure you are at your best. Go on, then.
Okay, I'm not saying that a leader of man isn't important, but Dan Campbell's a leader of men. Mike Tomlin's a leader of men. They also know how to be a head coach. Just look, and if you need to watch Nick Sirianni as a coach, watch that Niners game again when we absolutely beat them. When Dom DeSandro left, he didn't know what to do. He looked lost. So the fact that he needs somebody whose job is literally to babysit him is worrying for me.
It's going to be very interesting when we see in-season Hard Knocks. Being that Philadelphia is one of the teams. That's going to be very interesting.
It's just worrying to me that he needs somebody whose job is literally to babysit him. That's what worries me. And the fact he doesn't handle the offense or the defense.
Not many coaches do nowadays.
McVay, O'Connell, Shanahan all run the offense. I think Howie Roseman is an incredible general manager. I think he's probably the best general manager in the NFL. So I think that is a massive plus. But I think it's things around Sirianni because Vic Fangio's an incredible DC, things like that. So I think it's things around Sirianni that are helping the Eagles rather than Sirianni himself. But that's
players will come to Philadelphia because of Sirianni, not because of money, not because of XYZ, because of Sirianni and because of what he is. What do you make, Harris?
Boys, at the end of the day, these teams are in it to win the Lombardi, and that's it. And he pronouns pal, and Nick Sirianni got the Super Bowl a few years ago as well. I think I was against the Chiefs and they lost. So what's that? Two Super Bowls in 3 years or 4 years, perhaps. He's got a pedigree of getting the big dance. He brought somebody in with Saquon who was a little bit sketchy in his last few seasons, and he's made him probably the best running back in the league. You know, I understand they've got offensive coaches, but it all comes from the head coach downwards. And the fact that he's made him one of the best running backs in the league and won a Super Bowl, yeah, of course they want to keep him around. And I think it's a really good decision by the Eagles front office to keep him around. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a really good bit of business. Obviously, details haven't come out, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like in the next 2 years, 3 years, or what it is, because I really don't know what the update is of it. Okay, we covered an awful lot of news. We're going to skip UFL this week. We'll put they've got a couple of weeks left of the season till we go to playoffs, where Mr. Parent will obviously do some bits and pieces on that over the season. But it is that time of week again We haven't done this for a few weeks now, but it is that time of night. Do we know what it is?
I don't know, but it sounds quite sexy. Go on, I'm listening.
Come on, you've got to do that.
Oh,
Oh. Hostess with the mostess, Mr. Harris.
thank you very much. Yes, I would happily take the chair for this one. And yes, so as I said at the top of the show, we will have a brand new Mastermind NFL Trivia Champion on tonight's show. Mr. P, before we start, have you paid your electric bill? Obviously dark.
I'm sitting in the dark and my cat's on my shoulder. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
I'm only saying it for the benefit of the people who actually watch the show, you know.
What's your
So
cat
yeah,
What my cat? This one's Tilly. You normally see Bess, that's upstairs. Tilly is the black and white love of my life, next to like Kevin Keegan and Alan Shearer. And she is very needy, and she's the type of cat that follows me around the house. And when I'm home, she has to just constantly sit and bug me. So you know, she's just.
When I was living with my mum, I had a cat, and the door didn't shut properly because for some reason I didn't have the bolt that goes through the door, you know, the latch on the door. My bedroom door, and this cat would push the door open at night, and I'd wake up and this cat's face was in my face.
They do. They're like proper
Jesus
psychopaths.
Christ.
It's because like they get like proper FOMO, and they don't like the idea of like having doors closed. So when there's a door that's closed, they feel like it's actually like a personal slight against them, and they get proper anxious over it. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like the doors are constantly open in our house because of just like these fluffy bitches. Like,
Right.
but anyway, I'm locked in for watching and listening to you two slugging it out since I got screwed out of it.
I was waiting for that.
You mean beat
so
him
now
Times Square?
that the so now that the RSPCA segment of our show is now over, thank you very much for that. As I said, welcome back to the grand final of NFL Mastermind on the Third and Long podcast. The way it will work is Ollie and Baby will have 20 questions. Each 10 will be NFL general knowledge and 10 will be on their chosen specialist subject. So I'm going to go with age before beauty. So first we're going to go with OBH. Tell us where you're from and please tell us your specialist subject.
I don't know why you're saying age before beauty. I'm blatantly younger than him. I'm better looking.
Maybe in the 90s. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, you don't even know what the 90s is.
Yeah, do you know what the 90s are? Right.
Born in the 90s.
So yeah, Ollie, Gloucestershire. My special subject is the UK games, NFL games. That's not critical.
Okay. So, would you like to do your special subject first or the random NFL 10?
I think we'll do the special subject first, please.
Okay, no worries. So, the first question will be, in what year was the first NFL London game of the International Series as we know it today?
2007.
Yes. And for a bonus point, who were the teams?
Giants, Dolphins.
Yes, well done. Excellent start.
No, because that was the game I fell in love with OC.
Okay. So, in what year did my beloved Baltimore Ravens first come over and play as a part of the international games?
First year?
Yeah, they've been over twice. We obviously, the one occasion is well documented on the show, obviously.
Is there a time limit here?
17?
Yeah, I think it should be a time limit. I'll give you that one. It was 2017. Yes, I'll give you that one. But please try and be a bit quicker in future. So that's 2 out of 2 so far. You know, when you say international games, can we do like Spain and Germany and everything else, or is it mainly UK
I mean, you can
games?
do Germany, yes, but you can't do Spain because
Yeah, because you were there.
He did say UK games is special subject.
Yeah, he did. Okay, I give him that. Fair enough. Okay, how many UK stadiums have been used for NFL games?
3. Wembley, Tottenham,
And they
and
are?
Tottenham.
Yes, well done, bud. Okay, so that's 3. So that's 3 out of 3 so far. He's batting for 1,000, as they say in baseball. Let me see what the next one is. I did have my questions up, but they vanished, so I'm kind of doing it on the fly at the minute. How many times have the Pats played in England, Holly?
England.
Yeah, we're going with England. Yeah,
9, 12, 3.
4.
4. Yep, baby's correct. 4.
When's the other year?
Last year.
Yeah, 9, 12. Last
It
year.
was-
When was the other year?
I'm telling you,
Didn't
it was
they play-
against the
16 or 17-ish.
it was against the
No, 'cause
Bucks in
it was 10
2009.
years. It was 10 years.
It's against the Bucks in 2009, the Rams in
Yeah.
2012,
Yeah.
and there's another one as well.
Didn't they play the Giants?
No.
They played obviously last year, as Baby said.
Rams, Buccaneers, and Jags. They played Colts in Germany.
I'm sure I
but-
saw him again. I don't know.
Have they not played? Hold on, I need to have a look. I'm just going to fact check something.
Yeah, please do, because I'm. Yeah, this may go on for a while.
Come back to that one.
I'm sure I had him as a home team one year.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were
no,
in
they played the
2012
Dolphins.
and 2009. They're both they've never been the home team. They've always been the away team. They were the away team in Indianapolis when they played Indianapolis in Germany as well. They've never been the home team. They've always been the away team.
Okay, then we
They
stick
played
with your
in
Pats.
They played in Mexico as well.
We stick with your Pats. How many points did they score in the inaugural game against the Buccaneers at Wembley?
So hang on.
Sorry, at Wembley.
Wembley.
Yeah. Wasn't yeah.
How many touchdowns did we get that day? 36.
Ooh.
1 point out, 35.
By the way, Ollie was right. They have only played 3 times in England.
No, that's all right. Fair enough. And 3 then. I thought it was 4. My apologies. See, that's the thing. See, I admit my mistakes on the show. I won't let it drag on for weeks.
Voting and administration. There's gone again.
He's quick.
Okay. Yeah. What's going on with that?
Don't know.
He clearly didn't like that comment.
Oh, okay. Who was the first? I'm trying to think. The first game that they had at Wembley, 2009. Who was the halftime? Who was the halftime show?
That was the first game at Wembley wasn't in 2009, but okay.
Yeah.
2007.
2007. Sorry, my apologies.
I mean, I wasn't at this game, so I don't know.
Yeah, he was probably about 5, I know.
I'd have been about 8, but okay.
I don't think it was, but I think it's Stereophonics.
That would have been amazing. Let me just double check that a minute. Oh, come on. So here we go. Whose dog is that?
It's a dog outside. It doesn't shut up.
For God's
This is great,
I
Dale.
know I had all my questions and then they all went doing it on the fly here. This is ridiculous.
Go on, mate.
So, Ollie, how's your week been while Shane fact checks
Oh,
this?
boys,
Don't worry about fact checking it, mate.
I can't even find it.
2007.
2007, have a look at it, yeah.
Maybe I'll go
God
fact
knows.
check it because I'd be
Yeah,
accused.
I'll get Wikipedia up.
Yeah, that's what I've got, and I can't find it.
Go to the next question, Shane.
That's okay. Sick, man. Any idea? Any idea? Right, to the nearest 10,000. What was the attendance for the first game in 2007? To the nearest 10,000, I'll give you that.
It's going to be around
10,000. He knows the attendance of Wembley. That's so easy.
It's 86,000 is when, and it's 86,200 and about 250. I think it's one like 8,600.
81,176.
86,000. I said first time around anyway, but yeah.
You're not having that one. Okay, really quickly then. What teams are coming over here for this season, excluding the Island game? What we got?
Browns, Jets, Jags, Rams, Vikings, Broncos.
Excellent. Okay. What year was the Jags' first game in London as a part of this partnership? That thing they've got going on.
Last year was 10 years. That was 10 years. 2013 was the first year.
Spot on, but 2013, yeah. And is that 10?
They've done 12 games over here.
No, is that 10 questions is what I'm saying?
No, you got about another 2.
Yeah, I'm probably struggling there. How many times have the Niners been over here?
Twice.
Correct.
Just to, yeah, well, obviously, of course, I didn't have to look at that one.
I'll even name the teams. I'll even name the teams: Broncos and Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Of course you
Well,
will.
I'm still trying to fact check your London.
I don't even know. Was it even a halftime show? I don't even know.
There might
Yeah.
not be.
I've seen Neo perform at the Rams and the Patriots game.
Bengals.
No, it wasn't that.
Bengals.
Yeah, it was 2012.
Tonight,
No,
I'm
he
in
did
love,
the
love you
national anthem.
tonight.
He sang
Yeah.
the national anthem.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, then. I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball in there because I think this is the 9th question now.
Yes, mate.
What year did NFL Europe end?
Oh, fuck me, you absolute.
2007.
Good guy. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
That's a curveball.
I want to say 96.
What if I said to you 2005?
I was so close.
It's crazy, isn't it? I didn't think it was going that long.
No, I remember it being in Madden 2000 and oh god, Madden. It was in one of the Madden games because I remember that I would always play as the Vikings and beat the Berlin Thunder. So I remember it being in early 2000 Madden games.
10 questions.
Okay, and
Number 10,
for
mate.
the 10th and last question, what was the only game in the UK series to go into overtime?
Redskins or Washington, Cincinnati, 27-all.
That was in 2016. You are correct. So Oliver Butler Henderson, your score for your specialist subject, and I'm sorry for botching that so horribly, was 8. No, 8? Yeah, 8.
Yeah,
I can see your
8.
fingers.
Well, we don't
So-
know whether Stereophonics was correct because I'm still trying to find
Yeah, I know.
out.
So I go with 8. I go in with 8. I'm going to try to give you a fighting chance.
I don't think it was.
Try to give you a fighting chance. Right.
Right,
Moving on to our
bingo.
next contestant. Yeah, moving on to our next contestant. What is your name and what is your specialist subject?
Oliver Ho, And my social subject is the last 10 Super Bowls from Super Bowl 49 in 2014 to Super Bowl 59 in 2024 or 25.
Fantastic. So I shall begin. So, during this year's Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles, who sang the national anthem?
I don't know, so I'm just going to say H.
Well, from steps.
Yeah.
No, it was John Batiste. Okay.
Can I just say, his first question was, when was the first London game? And I get who sung the national anthem.
As I said, I had all these questions and they all went off my phone, so I was doing it at random. I got more of an order for you, as I know exactly what I'm doing with you.
Oh, great.
Well, it just happened that way, you know. Okay, in the Super Bowl before that, what can I pick? What can I pick? Okay, how much was the cost of a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl when they played in Vegas 2 years ago?
It's usually about 5
It can be
million.
to the nearest. I don't know, to the nearest 10.
It's usually about 5 million.
I'll give you that. 7 million. I'll give you that. So that's 2. Do you know what? I'm finding it hard with these Roman numerals as well. You think all the WrestleManias I'd watched, I know exactly what they are, but I don't. So yeah, in the Super Bowl before that, which was the Eagles Chiefs. Yes.
Yes.
What stadium did they play in?
So far?
State Farm Stadium.
Oh, State Farm Stadium.
Okay, in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then in the Super Bowl, in the one before that, which was the Rams and the Bengals, if you recall.
Yes.
What was the name of the referee in that game? Do you know? The head referee.
I don't know that.
Can I have
the same level?
That's the kind of thing you'd know. Okay, all right. We'll expunge that one from the record then, if you're going to be a bit touchy about it. I'll give you an easier one.
Holly got very easy questions.
Because I was floundering a little bit, right? I just chuck whatever at him. Okay, no worries. Who was in the who did the halftime show for the Super Bowl when it was in SoFi?
That was Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar.
The best Super Bowl halftime ever.
Yeah, I was in the bar in Bristol, and we ordered a booth and everything. And I was dancing my head off, and anyone knows it's not my kind of stuff, but it was all right.
Dave agrees with me. While these questions are hard, compared to when was the first NFL game in London, which Ollie was at.
Well, I didn't know that. It's only easy when you know the answer. Okay. So then the one before that, which was the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, who was the MVP of that game?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, I can say don't win. Here you go. That's what I call a gimme question. I'm sure I saw a dummy fly across the room then. Okay, then. Before that was your beloved world famous San Francisco 49ers. Parents loves it when I say that. He's going to clip that one day. Was it obviously at a 31 points to 20 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs? Who sang the national anthem then? I think you know. I think you like it. I think you like the music.
I'm going to start off by saying by this point of the night, I was already drunk.
Yeah. I could be drunk watching this too.
If Jack is watching, he will confirm that.
As long as Jack wasn't driving.
So, yeah, Jack wasn't driving. Shakira and J-Lo did the halftime show.
That's right.
John Legend?
Demi Lovato.
No, I don't like Demi Lovato's music.
Oh, but if I know who she is, you are guaranteed to know who she is.
Yeah, I know who she is.
And then in New England's last appearance in the Super Bowl against the Rams, where they played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, I'm not. I really want to ask you this, but I know you know the answer. Okay, who was the MVP in that game?
Edelman.
And I think, yeah, because OBH, you're about to if you didn't know the answer to that, 'cause he loves him. It
Edelman.
was indeed Julian Edelman. It was indeed Julian Edelman. Okay. So, and then in the one before that, which was again the Pats against the Eagles.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
How did?
Pretty
Yep.
special.
How did that? What was the score? What was the final score in that game?
The Eagles scored 41.
All right.
Was it 41-33?
It was, baby. Well done. Please say someone's keeping score.
Sorry,
No.
I'm not listening.
I'm on,
Oh.
I'm on 6 at the moment.
I believe you. And how many questions do we had? 7.
8.
8. Okay. So yes, in the previous Super Bowl before that, which was played in NRG Stadium between the Pats and the Falcons, this was a 28-3 game, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, I do remember that. Okay.
This is the first one I watched live.
What year was this? Actually, yeah, what year was this?
2016.
2017. It was
Oh, yeah.
2016 season. Oh, come on. All right, I'll give you that. Now that's 6, fair enough.
Because it was my first year at uni, because it was the first one I watched live.
7, okay. So, Super Bowl 50.
Yeah.
Between the Panthers and the Broncos.
Yes.
Yes, I'm doing it. Look for something in a minute. Who scored the first touchdown in that game? Who scored the first touchdown in that game?
Okay. So Broncos wide receivers. Who did Peyton Manning throw to? I'm just going to guess and go Cam Newton.
Nope. It was Owen Daniels. I know him because he played for the Ravens as well, tight end. I know him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that. I could have had 100 guesses.
So I think that's the last one, isn't it? No. I think that's the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
It's the last one. So Baby Hope you scored 7. Not bad at all. OBH, are you awake? Somebody poke him.
I'm awake.
Yeah, I'm awake.
Okay.
Right, so now.
After military band, was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was a military band. 2007 was a military band.
So does that mean we both got 7 then?
No, I got 8. Because Polly's was the one.
It's not bad, boys. So now will come the NFL trivia general knowledge questions. Okay. So have a little look. See what we've got.
Let's go with one of the answers. National
no, it's not. Apparently we like that one. That's not. Okay, right. So there will be a mixture of hard ones and easy ones. OBH, it's your turn. Please keep score because I got nothing to write down with.
I have a pen.
Thank you.
Make sure the pen
First question. I'm gonna start off with an easy one. How many NFL teams play in the state of California?
Oh, that's an easy one. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. 3.
Which are
San Fran and LA.
Rams, Chargers, and Niners. Yeah. Maybe that's correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct. Okay.
And yes, that was an easy one.
I know.
No, I couldn't think which of the. I know there's a couple of teams that are close. I couldn't think. Yeah, go on.
A slightly tougher one. How many rounds does the NFL draft have?
7.
You'll be correct. 7. I didn't know that. Okay. Third question. Who won the very first Super Bowl?
Oh, Green Bay.
In the Vince Lombardi Trophy for a reason. It is indeed Green Bay. Yeah, it is indeed Green Bay. What league did the NFL merge with in 1966? Which was roughly when you were about.
The NFL and the American Football League.
Yes, it was the AFC. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. What was the? Try again. Which team has a football helmet as their logo?
Cleveland.
Yes, indeed, it is the Cleveland Browns. How many officials does an NFL game have?
Does it include New York?
Does it include Kansas City?
So you've got that one, back judge, down judge, side judge. 5, 6, 6.
I had in my head 7.
Maybe you are correct. It is 7.
Then, baby. Who are they then?
I can name them. I just had in my head it was 7.
Okay.
Okay. What was former Jets quarterback Joe Namath's nickname?
Joe Cool.
Smoking Joe.
Smoking Joe. Of course it was.
Smoking Joe.
The Joe Montana was the first Joe Cool.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Got my Joes mixed up.
What team drafted John Elway? This team no longer exists, by the way.
So it's not Buffalo then.
No, it's still here.
It's not San Francisco. It's not Buffalo.
It's not Denver either.
I'm going to take stab at Dark St. Louis.
It's Houston Oilers, wasn't it?
It is the Baltimore Colts.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
Colts.
agree with me.
How many questions are, Ollie?
It's 8.
I've got 3 wrong, so on 8.
He's 5 out of 8.
So it's 2 left. Okay.
Mm.
Which franchise infamously ran out of time during the 2007 draft at pick number 7?
Oh, this was hilarious.
I remember this.
Was it Minnesota?
It was the Vikings.
Yeah.
Indeed, I remember this.
I don't know.
Yeah, I only know this because of draft day. Cool.
Yes. So this is going to be question 9, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
this is the last one.
Oh, it's the last
Yeah.
one. Okay. I'm going to throw a curveball at you now, right? This will be a really hard one. See how you get on with this. All right. Which is the only franchise to start the season 0-4, but still make the playoffs? And again, this team, I'll give you a clue, they've moved. The team that done it are no longer in that city.
Not that.
Shane, time minutes.
Rams.
What if you said the other LA team? You would have been correct.
No, Chargers did it.
San Diego
When did
Chargers,
they do that?
1992. I was curious as to what his answer would be. I could give him a little longer because that's a hard one. But yeah, Oliver Butler Henderson, you scored 7?
6.
6.
Okay.
Grand total of 14. Baby opening.
So baby, you got
7
14 to beat.
to win.
It's 7 to win. Okay. So let's start in then.
Do I need 8 to win, 7 to tie?
Yeah. Sorry, 8 to win, 7 to tie. You can tell I would never host a game show. All right, I'll give you a 1 or 2 easy ones to start you off.
Okay.
Who is known as America's team?
The Dallas Cowgirls. Obviously, I mean the Cowboys,
Correct.
but I don't know to call them that.
Correct. Okay. What number did NFL legend Dan Marino wear during his career?
13, because it's a reason Purdy wears
Correct.
it.
Correct. Of course it is. Correct. Okay. Name all the teams that have a bird as their logo.
How many are there?
6. I think.
5. 5.
So there's the Ravens, there's
Hello.
the Eagles, there's the Seahawks, there's the Cardinals. That's 4.
There's one left then.
And there's the Falcons.
Well done. Good job. Excellent job, baby. Okay. Okay. Who has the record for the most passing yards in a game?
In a game,
Oh, you won't get this. This was way before my time, your time, OBH's time.
Is it?
Bart Starr?
Oh, yeah. I think you're around about that era. Norm Van Brocklin. I think he played for the Vikings. I think. You can call me uninformed if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So how many questions was that? Is that 4 or 5?
3 out of 4.
Sorry, you've got 4. Okay.
He's right. Okay.
He's right.
1951.
I told you, Norman Brocklin. Okay. How long is an NFL field?
It's 120 yards.
You gotta be. Can you do that a different unit of measurement, please?
But they use yards.
It's 100. It is right. It's 120 yards.
Yeah, 120 yards. Like 110 meters or 360 feet. I was going to say, use an interesting one. No, I'm not going to give you that one. That was cruel. I'm not going to give you that one. I'll give you a slightly easier one.
Okay.
Which team changed their controversial name and logo following the 2019 NFL season?
The Washington went from the Redskins to the football team to the Commanders.
Name redacted, indeed. Yes, Washington Commanders, as they are known now. Which franchise has won the most Super Bowls?
Well, it's tied between the Patriots and the Steelers, both with 6.
Okay, which answer do I have in front of me then? So you've got a 50-50 shot.
Well, the Steelers did it.
He's got the point, Shane. It's both.
The Steelers did it before the Patriots, so I'd go with Pittsburgh.
Fine, put those horrible fuckers on it if you want. Yes, it is. But it is them lot. Okay.
I want 6 out of 7, by the way.
Wait, you're on 6.
6 out of, yeah, and you've done 7 questions.
You need 2 more, so you got 4 left. Okay.
No, I've got 3 questions left.
I'm trying to find ones. Which are not going to pickle you too much. Derek Thomas has the record for most sacks in a game with how many? 7, 7.5, or 8?
7.5.
The answer is 7. Oh, tension. Now 3 left now. Okay. What team has never had a Hall of Famer play for them? Wow, I like that one.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let me double check the answer.
No, he's right.
Spot on. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Okay.
So I think so is that 7 out of 9? Because I've got
Correct.
2 wrong.
This is the 10th. This is the 10th question.
Yeah, this is to win.
This is to win, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Who was the last player to win the MVP that did not play quarterback or running back?
Oh, running back. Okay,
Yeah.
I was about to say Peterson, but
I know this one.
And I do.
You got the answer in front of you.
Obviously, yes. The reason I know it. No, but I know him for a different reason. And I may give it away a little bit.
was it Ray Lewis?
It was not Ray Lewis. It was Lawrence Taylor. The reason I say it, he main evented WrestleMania 11. That's how I know him. So we end on level pegging. We end tie game. This is going to go into overtime. Unbelievable. And I've got a question for the two of you, right? I will take the nearest answer. Obviously, spot on answer wins. Okay. How many states does not have an NFL team? Yeah, how many states does not have an NFL team? Bear in mind, there's 50 states in America.
Where are we classing Kansas City?
Come on. You know it's in Kansas.
It's actually in Missouri.
Still
Doesn't
Kansas.
really make a difference, but I'm going to go 29.
What are you saying,
32.
OBH?
32.
The answer is 27. Baby, you're our winner. You're our champion.
Good game.
Tell the crowd how you feel. Tell the crowd how
I'm
you
very
feel.
happy. I'd like to thank Ollie for being a very worthy competitor. I won by the barest of margins. I'd like to thank Phil for popping in and out. I'd like to thank the question master himself, our Welsh wizard Shane Harris.
I tried.
I'm happy to be, although the youngest, to know the most about NFL here.
Well.
Yeah, you definitely know more than me. So yeah, that was our mastermind concluded for another year. I'd like to thank my two very, very good competitors. They were really gracious and really, really well informed. Thank you, gentlemen. So over to the man who runs this fine institution, Mr. Oliver Butler Henderson, to send us home for the evening.
Yeah, it's a long one. Thank you very much all for joining, listening, watching, being involved. As always, you make our lives so much easier. We will be back next week, same time, same place. Until then, stay safe all.